Alright, let's see who is on the kill list. I'm going to play knight to f6. Remember, anybody that comes online at this time right now is going to regret their life choices. So now we have g6, my specialty. Guys, if you have never seen this opening before, you have never played chess. This is known as the King's Indian defense. Once you see me feint shatter this bishop and put this pawn on d6, it signals absolute strength. Now, for the opening, just ensure that you're always getting your pieces out. That includes your minor pieces, guys, like 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 pieces out will actually give you a successful opening. Now, this man has actually placed so many defenders on that e5 square. I am unable to push e5 currently. So I push e5. Now, what are we learning today? I can actually win this pawn back because he has a very loose bishop on b2. We call this an unprotected piece. This bishop is going to eye that piece all the way down. Now I have just changed the count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 possible attackers on that e5 pawn. He has 1 defender. Call it 2, but this can be removed at any time. So he now goes knight to d4. I know this might be a little fast for you guys. I'm going to even slow this down just so that you guys can process the beating that this man is about to receive. Now, this is again a line of sight, like our bishops are getting traded right now. So I'm going to play bishop takes e2, simply trading those bishops. Now, that e5 pawn again has its destiny assured, guys. Like, it is going to die. I'm thinking currently whether I'm supposed to take back with a piece or a pawn. Now, to keep this diagonal open, I am actually considering taking back with a piece. But I'll put some more thought into it as he plays. So he goes queen takes e2. And believe it or not, black is actually the person that finished his development first. Kudos to me. And I'm actually thinking about taking with this knight instead. Yes, it's tricky. It's like super tricky. I could also take. That's rubbish. Alright, let's take here. Let's just take here. You might go f4. Alright, this is a little more, it's a little tricky than I thought. Let me take my time for this one. So, knight takes e5, f4. I might just have to come back and just call it quits. But that's no fun. That is no fun, guys. What can I play here to actually throw my opponent off? Need something like super spicy. I'm gonna actually... I don't know which one to actually take back with. Let's use the principle of the least active piece and use this one. So knight takes, and then he takes on c6. And here I'm going to be doubling my pawns. And why am I doing this? I'm going to try to break this pawn chain open with a4, e5. Again, to persons who don't really understand pawn structure that much, because it's not really commonly seen on YouTube, this might look a little bit suspicious. But you will learn today how to play with pawn structures like this. I'm going to play c5 and push this pawn down the board. Or just push this pawn down the board. Is he crazy enough to go pawn to c5? What's his name? Miller. Okay, I think he might be crazy. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's not let him actually get a chance to push pawn to c5. If Quinley, that sounds like a name that is actually here for trouble. No threats. Let's go a5. No, it's the middle game. So what am I doing, guys? I'm actually looking to activate my pieces. And what piece I'm activating right now? My rook on a8 is extremely out of the game. So by pushing the pawn down the board, I'm getting the open a file for my rook. Everything is crystal smooth, guys. This is normally where my opponents tend to panic. Now, what is he planning to do here? He goes rook to a1. Like his rook is passive, so keeping the tension is always good, guys, because if I hold the tension, his rook always stays on a1 and he can't move. If I take, then it might force his passive rook to come off the board. So again, don't want to confuse you guys a bit. So to keep it simple, all I'm doing is just connecting my rooks. Look at this, connecting the rooks, guys. Masterclass. Like you guys have to understand that I connected my rooks. I kept the tension. To take is a mistake. Everything that you guys know is here. Queen to e7. And goes knight back to c3. This is now the cry of defeat. He's now accepting the fact that this knight was misplaced. And he's now bringing this knight back on c3, putting pressure on my a4 pawn and threatening knight to d5. Now, what kind of person would I be if I didn't explain my moves a little bit clearer than this? Now, he wants to put a piece in my half of the board, and he's also threatening to win this pawn. I want to push this pawn to a3, to actually remove that bishop off this diagonal. So he now plays this intermezzo move, knight to d5. And an intermezzo is like an in-between move, which it plays a move before playing the obvious. So the obvious move is to actually just move your bishop, but he plays this first and forces me to react to him instead. No, because he probably knows how to play chess correctly. I could actually listen to him and move my queen, but just to make sure, let's say I take, he takes it with check, I go king to here, then he moves his rook. I mean, I could go Mikhail Talbot, right? I could, but I won't. I'm just gonna keep my, he seems like a very decent person, so I'm gonna just chill. If he goes bishop to c3, I go pawn to c6 and he resigns. Now, alright, I forgot, I can't like give, after that be a little serious. So here, yeah, if he went c3, I would have went pawn to c6, and his bishop would have been a little loose after his knight moves, so he has to be careful. So he takes and he actually gives me the bishop. That is a huge sin in chess. Bishops are better than knights in open games. Currently, he has an outpost for the knight if this pawn wasn't here. But because my pawn is on c7, he's not able to actually enjoy the home on d5 for his pieces. Now, I want to play c6. You might just go knight to c3, and that just looks boring. So, let's see how I can actually break open. I have a bishop, so the bishops need open lines. I could look to get a pawn break like this. Just simple stuffs. Let's do it. I'm gonna go f5, and I'm gonna maybe swing my queen to g7. So I need my queen active, guys. I'm gonna try to put it on this long diagonal with the bishop. It's actually not a bad move. I mean, like bringing rooks to open files and or semi-open files, like everybody can do this. So why am I surprised? So queen to d7, and I'm gonna put my queen on g7 now. Now the only two pieces that I can't find a home for is this rook on f8 and this rook on a8. Now I could actually get very chaotic right now, guys. Now for persons who are new to my channel, you will learn something today in terms of how to activate rooks. We activate rooks by simply opening up files, and we open files by pawn breaks, guys. Now, here he put his knight on, or placed his knight on c3. Let's just continue with our plan of putting this queen on g7, teaching this guy the art of proper chess. Now, queen to g7, and I'm going to start launching my pawns down the board. I am just wondering what is the best way to actually get these pieces active. f4 looks like one. G5, I like a pawn push, guys. I have rooks. I have long range pieces. Fortunately, the diagonal is open. I'm not seeing like files which I want to actually utilize as yet. Now, if I manage to get this pawn off the board, his dark squares will become a little bit weak. Goes queen here. Let's just move our king. Like we play chess daily. So let's go king h8. I could be like coaching chess and stuff, but like yes, I see chessboards daily, guys. So here, pawn to g3, and he creates some light square holes around this king. This is maybe a little bit disrespectful for my calling, but I will still get my g5 plan. He wants to stop f4, so probably he understands that he's in problems. And now we go pawn to g5, forcing the pawn break, guys. Now, here I could play a move such as rook to f7 and swing this rook to g8. And then everything will be attacking over there. The minute this f4 break comes, he will suffer. So he plays that move. Does that stop my f4 push? Take. It does not stop my f4 push, guys. So I push f4. I have now opened up the game for the bishop. Now, you're understanding the power of a bishop when there are plays on both sides of the board. This knight has to like sit. It has to pick a side, guys. Which is why knights are good in close games. For open games, look at this. Bishop, masterclass. Queen to h6, dark square technique opening. Kicking on that weakness on h2 if white is not careful. If he takes, we call this a fork in chess, guys. Queen and the bishop will be attacking h2. And also, this same battery will be attacking the rook on c1. So he has to be careful. That pawn cannot be taken. It is absolutely poisonous. And I won't even take on e3. I am threatening right now to put the pawn on f3, which will really take this man out of his misery. If I actually want to, again, simplify this some more to make this even more painful for my opponent, I'll put this rook on g8 and control the file. Now, you guys have to be used to this by now. Whenever you see me low on time, my strength increases. This guy is about to be taken out of his misery, and he's now paralyzed in fear. Queen to h6 on the board, and I'm getting all this time to commentate, and he's still frozen. So he finally moves a piece, and he chooses knight. He chooses knight to e2. Look, pay attention, guys. We call this the discovered attack. Now, I want my queen and bishop to actually attack it that 8-7 points. I'm going to do this clearance, which is a discovered attack on that h2 pawn with both pieces. This is normally where my opponents resign. No, he goes f4 instead. He's trying his best to actually fight. Oh, no. This is a cry. This is a cry, guys. Hold on. I need to do this professionally. If I take with the rook, he takes, I take. Rook here. Alright, no. Oh, there's f4. Did he just stop my commentary? This is a marvelous chess player then. Like, if anybody who can actually do this deserves a prize, he manages to stop my commentary. I'm going to sacrifice something, guys. Rook takes f4, knight takes f4, queen takes f4. Where's the knockout? Bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. That is so boring. But sometimes boring chess wins. Oh my, I have like a minute and 10 seconds. But this is so boring, guys. I'm not even lying. Alright, let's just offer a queen trade and my suffering. Do I just take a queen trade and end my... Yes, take the queen trade and your suffering. Let's just... Queen trade, guys. Simple stuffs. I have 59 seconds. The last person that actually brought my time low did not live to tell the tale. I will not call any names, guys. Right now, here, I am just looking to get my pieces forward. Look at this. Infiltration. Rook to f2. Have manners, child. And I'm going to be pre-moving pawn takes f2. Alright. Let's just defend the pawn now. Very good. Looking very good. Looking very nice. King to g2. I have queen here. And then I'm going to be squeezing my queen into the position. How is he not... He goes queen there. Alright. Then I'm going to hit him with q to f4. Then I need to like put, oh wait, queen g2. All right, all right. Q here. Check. Am I gonna have to take a, oh, whoa, whoa, that was a prank. That was indeed a prank. That's 31 seconds. That was indeed a prank, guys. Check. Welcome. Welcome to your doom. Welcome. Welcome. This, he resigns. That game felt too easy. Let me start another one. Guys, remember to subscribe for videos like this.